Right, hey guys, how we doing? Back another video from Chuck. Today we have got Could Goku defeat Elden Ring? Now, I have heard people talk about characters within the Soulsborne series, and they do seem to be pretty OP. But when I think about Goku and all the stuff that he can do within his verse, I would instantly say, yeah, Goku could do this. But I don't have a real well-versed understanding on the world of Elden Ring, so this will be educational, and let's find out if Goku could actually defeat Elden Ring.
It's no surprise that Elden Ring has been one of the most well-received games of this decade.
It does seem absolutely awesome.
That's full of beautiful environments,
These games are just so hard though, and they wind me up, and I just
exciting weapons, tricky enemies, and overpowered bosses. It's also no surprise that Son Goku is one of the most well-recognized and powerful anime characters out there.
He's so strong.
Has been through his fair share of battles. But what were to happen if Goku found himself teleported to the world of Elden Ring? Would he be able to survive through his treacherous obstacles and reach the star-scourged
Whoa, could he?
General Radon, the rotting goddess Malenia,
Oof.
and the legendary Elden Beast? Or would he fall much before that? In this video, I will cover the lore, statements, and feats within Elden Ring to see if Son Goku will be able to clear it at specific parts in his story. So without further ado, let's jump right into it.
Okay.
In terms of attack potency and durability, characters like General Radon are stated as being able to control the constellations.
Oof.
Mind you, this is a Radon that's been afflicted with the Scarlet Rot, which is basically a super infectious disease that breaks down the mind and corrupts the host, which is wielded by Malenia, the Scarlet Goddess. Speaking of Malenia, due to her being able to throw down with the late game Tarnished and still made Radon, should scale within the star to multi-solar system levels, depending on if you think Radon's power could hold a few or many constellations. In terms of speed, even inferior dragon bosses can catch and use lightning mid-battle, and Radon can come crashing down as a meteorite, making Malenia and Radon at least massively hypersonic,
Damn, okay, cool.
but likely much higher due to them being considered the cream of the crop amongst the demigods.
Whoa.
In which case, any Goku prior to the Buu Saga would have tons of trouble in terms of attack potency and durability with these two, since he doesn't reach multi-solar system levels and higher until then. However, he would certainly have a field day in terms of speed, as even Kid Goku was well above the speed of lightning, and he was easily many times faster than light by the time the Saiyan Saga came around.
Right, okay, cool.
So even if earlier forms of Goku are facing her, they could still contend against her if they fight from afar. But I don't think any Goku prior to the Buu Saga would be able to kill her. I think that normally Malenia would get blitzed unless you want to argue that her transformed state makes her relative or superior to other bosses like Malekith or Placidusax, who exist in a space outside
The ancient dragon lord Cetus said to Livion time.
of time. If she does scale to those two, Malenia poses an insane predicament if she is able to blitz and inflict the Scarlet Rot on Goku. Because within the game and the lore, the only things that can cure or resist the Scarlet Rot are boluses and incantations, which Goku would of course not know or
No, he wouldn't have any knowledge of the world, would he? Yeah.
use unless you think that he'd actually take the time to learn such things on his journey. So if he gets hit a considerable amount, he would likely be screwed. Not to mention her lifesteal could prove fatal if Goku must trade blow for blow or block.
Oof.
Within Super, Goku has shown that he can use Ki as a barrier like he did against the Trio of the Dangers, which could potentially be a counter to the status effect. But any Goku prior to that wouldn't use that in character, and would still be under threat by the Scarlet Rot, much less know what its effects are. If pressed in close quarters, Goku could also just fight her from afar and spam her with energy attacks, or try to surprise her with a sneaky Hakai, Innocent Transmission,
Ooh, Hakai with instant transmission. Woo!
overusing later iterations. Generally speaking, Buu Saga Goku should be able to defeat Radon and Malenia, but if her evolved form scales to the next two bosses on the list, even Super Saiyan 3 Goku would fall before her.
Oh damn,
Malekith,
okay.
the Armored Fury, would be a tricky mofo to deal with due to him wielding the Destined Death, which is arguably the concept of death within the world going by what you do with it in the story. Meaning that if Goku is exposed to his strikes, he would likely be unable to deal with it unless you want to count him countering the Hakai, and scaling from Vegeta countering Hakai energy in Dragon Ball Super as having some sort of death resistance.
Ooh, that is an interesting one. Death resistance, because Hakai is just pure destruction, isn't it? It's just, you're gone, wow.
But would that be the same thing as conceptual death resistance? Not really, in my opinion. In which case, Malekith is one of the hardest bosses that he would have to deal with, regardless of what arc we're using. but he should at least scale higher than Radon in base Malenia due to the other demigods fearing him, including Rykard, who thought that he needed a special weapon against him, making him at least above multi-solar system levels. So
Whoa.
even if the multiversal threatening
Damn.
Dragon Ball Super Goku had a massive speed and power advantage, he would still be under threat by the hacks if he has hit a considerable amount.
Damn, these Elden Ring bosses are something else.
Unless you think that there's a limit at which Malekith's conceptual death attack would be unable to work at, if Goku would theoretically have a massive ki, or in Elden Ring terms, Vigor Reserves. But I think that if Goku is able to avoid his strikes and use his range to his advantage, I can see him beating the god-killing legend. The Dragon Lord Placidus Axe is interesting due to its nature, as its scales are stated to be beyond time-space, which allows the crafting of god-slaying weapons.
Whoa.
And you fight him in a space beyond time as well. This means that Placidus Axe
Jesus Christ, beyond time-space.
easily has inaccessible to immeasurable speeds.
Inaccessible speed, movement in zero time / no time space, immeasurable speed, movement beyond time. Jesus, and then you got Ultra Instinct.
Depending on how you interpret the statement, meaning that it can move in a space outside of time, or when time itself is zero. If so, any Goku prior to Super would likely be unable to move in this space due to lack of feats. Although Goku does reach insane speeds in Z, especially in the Buu saga where he scaled from Majin Buu, who could erase galaxies in a few years, and due to him massively upscaling from his Afterlife saga self when in base, he, alongside Pikkon, crossed beyond universal distances, arguably an infinite distance. Even so, Goku having infinite speed would not allow him to keep up with Placidus Axe due to infinite speed actually including time in the speed formula. So even if Buu Saga Goku could, theoretically one-shot Placidus Axe due to his multi-galactic scaling, he would be bombarded by the dragon's attacks without being able to do anything about it.
Because of the time.
Looking back on it, I think it is possible that Goku and the Buu Saga could move in this space, being that he did fly through the afterlife very casually, and it is stated in the super exciting guide that there is no concept of time in the afterlife.
Right.
So it really depends on your interpretation.
So I suppose if there's no concept of time, then they're flying through zero time as well? Technically, maybe?
Goku does arguably reach inaccessible speeds in Super, like when he was able to move in the coordinates, quote-unquote, of the timeline that Zeno wiped out within the manga, and going by the movies, he was able to move in a space beyond
Always uses this one. Always uses this one against Cooler.
time in his scuffle with Metacooler. It really depends on what iteration of Goku you want to go with, but OG Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z anime Goku definitely get clapped up by Placidus Axe.
Right, yeah, it depends if you think that the Afterlife having no time is the same feat as,
Off of speed alone.
Right, fair.
And by extension, Malekith and Transform Millennia also can, depending on how you compare them to the Dragon Lord and his speed. But at least, I do think that Placidus Axe should be beatable if we're using Dragon Ball Super Goku. Additionally, although Godfrey is super strong and much superior to base Malenia and Radon, he would also get curb stomped by Dragon Ball Super Goku. To reach Radagon in the Elden Beast, Goku would have to get the Rune of Death by killing Malekith, which essentially restored the fundamental concept of death back into the world. The winged cosmic sauropod known as the Elden Beast,
That looks so weird. What is that?
the embodiment of the Elden Ring itself, is literally called the living incarnation
Remembrance of the Elden Beast hewn into the Erd Tree. It was the vassal beast of the greater will and living incarnation of the concept of order. Jeez.
of the concept of order, and is also seen making a dimension with the vast multitude of star systems in the background, easily making this deity multi-solar system levels at the bare minimum, arguably much higher. This creature can spew out deadly flames, holy light, and is immune to all effects in the game like bleed, poison, scarlet rot,
It's immune to bleed.
and death blight due to its transcendental qualities.
Damn, all the stuff that, it was oh god, we need to be able to withstand these against the other bosses. It's just, negates. Jesus.
Since the Elden Beast narratively scales above Malekith, Malenia, and Placidus Axe, I think that Dragon Ball Super Goku would be needed to have a chance against it due to its speed. Goku does casually reach universal and multiversal levels of power in Super, so he should easily have the raw power and durability advantage over the Elden Beast. And due to him being multitudes of times stronger than he was during the Future Trunks arc, when he moved in a timeless area, with Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, or Ultra Instinct, he would likely be able to blitz due to being massively above baseline and accessible speeds.
Wow.
So wouldn't Goku just clear then? Maybe.
Maybe.
But then I was thinking, since the Elden Beast is literally the manifestation of a concept and it can only be killed by bringing the concept of death back into existence, wouldn't Goku need a conceptual attack to take care of it, or would his raw power alone and the Hakai work on it, which can erase souls? It really depends on how you interpret it. But to be generous to the Elden Ring lore, if this being is truly conceptual, then I don't see Goku being able
Yeah, how is he gonna do it? Wow.
to do anything to it, even if he had vastly superior speed and attack potency. It would be like a dragon-type Pokemon trying to harm a fairy-type with a dragon-type move.
Of course, yes, I know those types, because I've played more than with the G1 Pokemon in.
It just wouldn't work, even if the dragon-type move had like a Balian attack stat. Hakai would also not work in this scenario, unfortunately, unless you think that Goku can destroy concepts. But if we're not being generous, then I think Dragon Ball Super Goku and Base would like clap him up 1,000 times over. Then atop that shining beast is the Greater Will, which created the Elden Ring and likely resides in a higher dimension, or dimensions, alongside other outer gods, which merely manifest through avatars or lower dimensional forms through the deities and legendary fighters you face in the world.
Okay.
Whether Goku would even be able to perceive these beings, however high they may be, is up to contention. But in terms of everything within the main story, I think Goku would have a lot of difficulty, if not lose to Malekith's Deathblade, and the Elden Beast, depending on how you argue the conceptual shenanigans. But he should be able to take care of mostly everything else, methinks. But yeah, please let me know what you think, and if you agree with my verdict. Thank you for watching, and peace out.
Wow, interesting. Cool, okay. I think that's pretty fair. It's like, on one hand, if you think this is a possibility, then yeah. But on the other side, no. I mean, yeah, it's like, what do you class as conceptual? What do you decide it's zero time? That was really cool. That was really interesting and very educational on how strong within the lore the Elden Ring bosses are. That was really cool. Awesome. Nice one. That's cool. Make sure you check out my Etsy shop. Buy my t-shirt. I love it. The design is fantastic. It's really cool. I love it. It supports the channel. It's pretty much me sponsoring myself, I guess. Ooh, a sponsor. And thank you to my patrons. If you want to have your name at the end of every video I upload, link is in the description to the Patreon page. $1 more per size patrons. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for that. And thank you all for watching. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know that I should watch and discuss some future videos. I'll see you guys next time.